Hi, welcome to UX Living Lab. Our presentation will start soon. Hi, welcome to UX Living Lab. Today, we are talking about how to build a sustainable innovation ecosystem for small brands. That's our series. And designing components and engaging internal team. That's one of the beautiful component or the must-have component in the innovation ecosystem and most important component in the innovation ecosystem, engaging internal team. How to build your internal team towards innovation. Okay, so we already talked about vendors and channel partners as a component, competitors, customers, startups, other industries. Now we are talking about internal team. So this is the seventh presentation of this series. If people are new to this presentation, so let them please go to the previous videos, previous presentations, and make a clarity of what I am talking about, because some points I already explained earlier, so it may not be repeating. I always say that okay, this already we talked last presentations, so continue from that. So go through all these presentations, then you will get a continuity. I'm Thomas from UX Living Lab. We talk about open innovations. Open innovation contains empathizing idea, sketching concept, designing look and feel, rapid prototyping, evaluating MVP, and market feedback. In any component of this open innovation, you can talk to me, fix an appointment by scanning this QR code, and we can talk about open innovation journeys. So, how to listen, how to plan, how to execute, how to deploy, how to measure innovation. That's what we can discuss. Of course, you are free to share my presentation to your team and colleagues or friends. Also, I expect your comments and likes in this presentation. Coming back to our topic, engaging internal team. What is internal team? Innovative team comprise divisions and walks of life within the company. That is a simple explanation about internal team. The innovative teams comprise of individuals from different department divisions and walks of life within the company. Recent research says that in the middle market companies, that is, we are talking about small brands. So in the middle market companies, about 72%, that is three-quarter of the companies, are using internal team for innovation. Because they can't afford the external teams, also they are more capable of innovating their own products. Being an expert or entrepreneur, they are more capable of doing innovating their own product. That's seven three-fourth of the companies, that is around 72% of the companies using their internal teams. And they also count themselves as great innovators, top innovators, because they clearly knows what the market needs, and they can innovate because they may be a technical expert as well as marketing expert, so they can easily understand all these factors. So they become a top innovators, and they always take information from suppliers, outside consultants, and crowd. There is a general idea about the innovation team working with small brands. And leadership is also a key factor. Okay, then what are the rules? The basic rules you had to follow. The basic rules are: determine whether you want to start small or go big. Think about your strategy for innovation or setting up innovation team, whether you have to build a small team and incrementally you can reach the goal or reach to the bigger level, or you have to set up a big team and immediately you have to reach the goal. So both have its own merits and demerits. If you start as a small team, risk is low because investment is low, or investment is in stage by stages, so risk is low, but it will take more time. Think about the big team. You can save time because you can immediately go to the market. You have to build a big team, but the risk is very high, investment is very high. So you have to decide these factors. Then, while doing these type of innovations, because there are a lot of analysis, a lot of calculations are happening, so look into paralysis of analysis. That's one of the problem facing with the innovators, because they are analyzing a lot of things, they are comparing a lot of cross tabs. What is happening? Actually, they will be circling around these type of analysis. They can't come out with the product output. So paralysis of analysis is one of the problems in the innovation teams. So you have to look into that. Then, how to keep all these people at the edge of innovation is that lead learning and development keeps your team at the edge of the innovation. These are the main rules we have to follow. And leadership is also a key factor. Team should be motivated, engaged, and ready to act. At the same time, you have to build the innovation culture. It's a one built around the ideology that anyone can contribute. So you have to build the innovation culture within your team so anybody can contribute. Failure is not only inevitable, it's needed for fine success. That is very important. Failure, you have to accept failure and follow these rules. If you fall into paralysis of analysis, you will be reach a gridlock. We call it as gridlock. So team become the directionless. So the result won't come. Okay, then we have a lot of strategies. Keep in mind these strategies while developing the team. So I'm talking about around 10 strategies you have to keep in mind. What is the strategy one? Start by building a bigger box rather than trying to think outside of it. So always people saying that think outside the box, think outside the box. That is the normal proverb we will be getting in the innovation. That's okay once in a while, just for collecting the ideas, but it is not a sustainable method in innovation. Assembling a group of people, then giving a lot of ideas won't be sufficient for success. Of course, generation of idea is a part of innovation, but after that, you have to think bigger box. That is, you have to expand that version one to version two, version three, like that. You have to get ideas connected to your core product. Otherwise, why should we think about flying cars? Being a chemical company, why should we think of, okay, if you are connected to flying cars but from a chemical company, that's okay. But you are manufacturing ice cream and you are talking about flying cars in your innovation team. I don't know what is the purpose. So in the flying car, can we serve ice cream? That should be a there is should be a connection. Otherwise, don't waste the time. by thinking outside the box, because a team in the flying cars, team can discuss about flying cars. In a company manufacturing ice creams, that's a complete time loss. Don't fall into these type of traps. Think bigger box. That is very important. Then strategy 2, select your team for who they knows as well as what they know. Actually, people should be well connected. That is the importance of this strategy. People should know who are the other team members and what they can contribute. So what their emotional feelings, what their capabilities, what's their behavior, all these human factors, human behaviors, you have to understand each other. At the same time, their academic or expertness in the field. So that is important in strategy 2. Then strategy 3, pick a leader. That is very important. Pick one leader and provide him with the autonomy they need to be successful. Appoint one leader per team. So many people tried, or so many companies tried with duos or trios, multiple team leaders, but it's very rare chance to succeed because of conflicts. And fourth strategy, build a team that can both identify gaps in the market and market in the gap. So usually we know that good business idea usually fill the gap in the market. So of course your idea will look into some unmet needs, that's correct, but that ideation is not enough. That is not enough. You need real customers willing to pay. That is why you have to look into the market and market in the gap. So you have to sell. That is the strategy 4. Then the next is very interesting. Find the team members who tell great stories. Communication is one of the important factors at the ideation stage, because it's just everything is in their mind. Some metaphors are using, but actually they have to communicate. So nothing is in the drawing board, nothing is in a prototype. So think about the ideation stage. The ability to communicate is very important. So the team, each member in the team have the ability to communicate. The quality of the idea will be judged based on communication at that stage, because there is no other way to measure it. And people has to clearly understand the concept and value propositions. The next strategy is understand the difference between good and bad conflict. Of course, we are human beings. There may be a lot of conflicts, but we have to team leader has to differentiate, or company has to differentiate between the good and bad conflict. So good conflict they can continue, but think about some bad conflict because of ego or some other type of friction. We have to tackle it. It develop as a discomfort inside the team. So that's a very simple thing, but actually this is normally it happen because team is built by humans. Then seventh strategy is supplement the innovation core team with an external provocator. Really interesting. You have a great team, I know that you have a great team for innovation. Still, you can add an outsider. They will give some different way of thinking, and how the other industries are working. The person is having different experience. It will be contribute well to the innovation. Supplement the innovation core team with an external approach. Sometimes or regularly you can invite different people, or some, yes, some once in a while you can invite the people and discuss with them. That's the seventh strategy. Then comes to eight. Remember to set goals and measure the progress. Okay, everybody knows that we have to set the goal, but some companies say that we will be setting the goal later, not now. And anyway, it's a project is very big. and there are a lot of possibilities can come. There are a lot of possibilities for outcome, so it's better to not to set the goal now. And there is another factor, is a human behavior, that they won't want to fail, because there is a goal, there is a chance of fail. Human always avoid failure. Normally people will avoid failure, so they won't set the goal. That's the best option, to avoid failure. But in our experience, teams that don't have discipline or set goal upfront are likely to make mistakes. Anyway, if it's a big project, you can set interim goals. That's the best way. Then measure it, the progress. Then comes to ninth strategy: think like a startup entrepreneur. Okay, being a small brand and small company, you can easily understand that, because you may be a startup or you may be entrepreneurs. You can easily understand that. Why we are adding that as a strategy? You have to think different perspectives, like a entrepreneur, and these entrepreneurs are huge enthusiasm and huge motivation, the very high level of focus. These things you can notice with the entrepreneur. Why I'm adding this is a failure of big companies, because in a big company that's not at all possible. Very hard to get entrepreneur mindset or startup entrepreneur mindset in a big company, because they are not under pressure. One thing. The another concept that they have is business is as usual, it will go, no issues. Innovation also is a department like finance or HR. That's all. Step by step that will go. That's all. It won't work, because biggest company have the huge problem to set this mindset. Human, their workforce or their innovation department won't come to the entrepreneurs level, because they are just employees. They have that employee mindset. But being a small brand, being a medium level company, you have that advantage of startup entrepreneur. Big companies, they should have some other way to look into that factors. Better to add outsider to the team. That is the best way. Big companies always follow legal procedures and process. I mean, then business is as usual. That's the only thing I can say. Then the 10th strategy is ensure team member have both feet in, because being a human, they have a lot of things to manage. They have work, they have diet, they have gym, then being a mother, meetings, kids, family, lot of things they have to manage. But you have to ensure, or you have to put a strategy in such a way that they are fully committed to innovation. That's very important. It's not a clerical work, it's not a office work, it's not a routine procedure. So they have to be the fully committed. Mentally they have to fully committed. Intellectually and mentally they have to be fully committed. Physically they should be committed. Okay, so that is the only way to go for innovation, engaging the internal team for innovation. Then we are presenting very interesting model as an innovation talent wheel. This innovation talent wheel illustrates the 10 key traits of effective innovation teams. What are they? Look into the vision. Vision contains uncovering, generate, generating, and selling. These are the important three factors of vision. Then the next is collaboration. Collaboration contains networking, orchestrating, and motivating. These are the important traits you need in collaboration group. Then learning is absorbing. So then the execution group, we have deciding, pioneering, and tabulating. These are the traits the innovation team should have, because they had to have a good vision, which contain all these factors, then they are interested to collaborate with others. There should be a learning environment. They have to execute. Well, these are one of the best models promoted or presented by McKinsey. What are the challenges going to face? The risk of isolation from the rest of the organization, what it is, because innovation team, all some most of the time the innovation team work as a separate team. The risk of isolation is there. Why it is happening? Because innovation team have the latest technologies, latest methods, very advanced manpower or highly empowered manpower. Other teams will fail to cope up with these innovation team. So naturally they become isolated from the main other department. So avoid that. That is one of the biggest challenge you have to sort it out, because other people don't know maybe the latest technologies. So they are still in the 5 year back in technology. Maybe the innovation team is looking to the next year technology. This gap is very high. That's why they are isolating from the organization. Then, how to do this? How to build sustainable innovation ecosystem? We are talking about engaging internal teams. What are the steps or execution procedure? So normally in innovation, these are the steps I already explained in our open innovation journey. So here I am doing it again. The ideation is the first step, then concept development, look and feel, prototyping, testing, feedback. I will explain each point in detail, because these are the stages. So this is the journey the internal team has to pass. So I'll detail it. What is innovation team? How to set up that innovation team in detail? So you can invite more people. That's correct. Or with all these strategies, you can look into these strategies and you can invite people. That's correct. But there should be R&D team. Of course, the company will be having the R&D team. They will be responsible for technology or manufacturing, costing, or human resources. These are the factors R&D team will look into. Then, including that R&D team and develop a innovation team. So R&D team, marketing, and regulatory. These are the three teams you can three category of people you can put into innovation: R&D people, marketing people, and regulatory. Then there can be a UX team, that people who can talk to uh, targeted segment. That can be marketing team or different type of people. So we can divide into innovation team and UX team. So these are the three components you can put inside the total innovation team, internal team. You can put it as R&D team, innovation team, and UX team. Okay. Then start with the ideation. So a lot of ideas coming from, maybe the internal ideas coming, because you are talking to different people. They are from their brainstorming. A lot of internal ideas are coming from the market. A lot of ideas coming, and clients they will give, or other sources. There are different channels for ideation. These people will from this channel you will get ideas. Then you have to list the ideas, the idea one, idea two, idea three. That comes to UX team will do that. Then empathizing ideas using UX. So UX team can interact with client or outside people they can interact with, or the people not in the innovation team, that also they can interact with, and get get their insights to the ideas. Then screening, the next step is screening. To the innovation team should screen through your resources, because company is limited with resources. This is the point I'm talking about. The bigger box, don't think outside the box. It's a bigger box. So go through the company's resources, like technology resources, assets, finance, marketing, human resources, regulatory needs, all these factors to be considered. Then decide, rank the ideas. That's idea one, idea two, idea three, like that. You can rank the ideas. I'm not saying that the best idea may not be your selected idea. So rank based on all these factors. Then that selected idea, take that selected idea, then list down the features you are looking for. Maybe internal features, product features, service features, pricing features, some manufacturing features, packaging features, a lot of features. According to your product, you can list down the features, feature names you are looking for. Then next step is the UX team has to work on these features. They had to look into these features and talk to different type of people, then categorize into core factors, enhancing factors, dual threshold factors, love factors. I already given a different and exclusive presentation on these aspects. You can refer my previous presentation on this 5 factor analysis. Then each features to be analyzed like that. Again, go through your resources, then convert it to storyboard. That's the next step. Then comes look and feel. Okay, from the storyboard, you talk about input process, processing, and output. You can categorize all these factors. Then again, you can test all these steps using sprints of innovation. Then analyze using technology and all the resources. So convert the concept into drawings, layouts, and mathematical models, flow diagrams, user experience stories. This is the stage where the look and feel. So you prepare the look and feel and interact. The internal team, you can interact within the internal team, then go out to the external team. So these people can be engaged, or the internal team can discuss with the external team and get their feedback. That's way. Or the open team, the outside your company also you can go. It's an open team. Then prototyping. After that, it comes to prototyping. So prototyping is based on 5 factors. There is enhancing factors, that is the factors which improve the quality. Then dual threshold factors, some factors won't be there, so it will reduce the quality. Then love factors, the factors which is not connected to quality but people loves it, that there is a cosmetic factors. In other words, you can say cosmetic factors to your product. Then neutral factors, that's the internal components which will be giving the security, safety of the data or something like that. So these are the 5 factor analysis. You can look into that. Then again, after this analysis with the internal team as well as the external team, again go through the resources and go. This is the duty of the internal team in innovation. So I already explained here, this innovation team has to do this part, and UX team will do the balance. Okay. Then product testing. So think about, after prototyping, you have to start testing. You had to build different circles for testing. This is the duty of the internal team. They can build different circles. It's an internal team, internal circles you can put, that can be include the people not in innovation team, can be included from your organization, maybe production team, maybe costing team, maybe compliance team, others, or according to your business, you can add any persons for the internal team, internal circles. At the same time, outside team, that is non-users, users will be having substitution users, uh, your customers or competitors customers. These are the different circles you can, for according to your business you can change this. You can build different circles, but each circles you have to engage testing, and testing is under the responsibility of internal team of the ecosystem. That these are the responsibilities of internal team. Then only you can set the team. So when you connect the internal team for your ecosystem, this becomes the responsibility. So actually the internal team is managing all other channels of your ecosystem. That is the practical way of doing that. You are building different ecosystem. I already explained that there is a vendor channel, there is a competitor channel, a lot of things we explained in the previous talks. These are where, after building these channels, who is going to manage this internal team. So building the internal team and connecting to. So when you build the internal team, it's not with just an R&D team. That's why in the ecosystem you have to connect. R&D team also can be included, but you have to include other people to that. Okay. Then build the external circle and do get the insights from all these factors. Okay, you need not go to deep open innovation analysis. It is a very costly affair. You can do casual things, casual feedbacks, casual insights. You can do different channels, use different channels for that. Okay, they're really interesting for product testing. After that, you are launching the product, then take the feedback. Then there also you can use the external team under the responsibility of internal team. You can take the feedback. Product feedback you can take from different channels. We already explained how many ways in the previous presentation. I already explained how many ways you can take out those feedbacks. These are the responses. These are the stages of innovation journey. So these are the responsibilities of internal team. Then, after getting all this information by the internal teams, what the team lead has to do or the analysis people has to do, they have to group the from where the information is coming in. They can group it. That is maybe different departments of your organization, and designation wise you can group, and expertise wise the people have illiterate, highly illiterate, or professional, like that. Expertise wise you can group. Then attitude wise, some people have a lazy attitude, some people is a very innovative attitude. Based on that you can, then some people will look into what is the benefit of doing this testing, so that or using this product, not only testing, using this product. So in that way you can group. So different ways of grouping uh, before analysis. Then continuity of engagement, that is very important factor. What's that? Continuity of engagement. Because you are doing this, developing this team and doing the testing, how periodically you are going to do that? Because while you build an innovation team, it's a sustainable and it's a long running team, and the strategies should be implemented in the long running, or with a very highly focused towards the next year or next 5 years or next 10 years, depending on your product. So periodic engagement of innovation team is a must. That's a continuity of engagement is a must. Or once in a while you are doing, okay, so not period, every week or every month. So best to do every week. Then continuous, sometimes you can do the continuous engagement, because every day or every time they can contribute and they can talking about innovation. Then you have to reward that people, because that people is not from your R&D, it's from other departments. So they are contributing to your innovation. So when you're building an innovation team and giving some extra assignment instead of routine work procedures, so of course you can reward, you can decide what way you can reward. Okay, then clearly state about the responsibilities while the while you develop an ideation. So idea contributor is there. After that, who is going to do this, who is in the external team, who is managing the external team, who is in the ux team, like that we have to clearly define the responsibilities. That is very important. Then develop time series. That is the continuity of engagement is only for the time series. So how the testing is going on in every week, so what is happening to a particular component in continuously for like in last 3 months? So think about, we are talking about one component. Every week you are doing the testing, then you can easily develop the time series for last 3 months. So these things you can use, or you can develop using a software or using a spreadsheet, or there are a lot of free softwares are available. You can use that. I'm not saying that we have to develop a big software to develop the time. So that is not required. So very simple things are available. Then these are the main topics we have to keep in mind while developing in the internal team. So being a small branch, everything you have to look into, because it's when you develop a big team, that will be a costly affair. So you have to look into that while doing the outside testing or open innovation testing. Also you have to make sure that the cost factor, because of small brands, your financial resources may be limited. Then, what are the takeaways? First thing, we talk about rules. Determine whether you want to start small or go big. Already explained. Better being a small brand, start step by step. So start as a small, then increase the size. Then be mindful of paralysis of analysis. That's already explained. Don't be in the trap of gridlock. Then learning and development. That is very important. Everyone, every member in the innovation team, in the internal team of innovation should learn and develop continuously. Then what are the strategies? Start by building a bigger box rather than trying to think outside it. That's very important because most of the innovation team are thinking very unwanted things here, there. So that is very important. Think about bigger box rather than trying to think outside of it. Select your team for who they knows as well as what they know. So they have to clearly define the qualifications as well as capabilities of the team. Then pick one leader per team. Then build a team that can both identify gaps in the market and market in the gap. Then find team members who tells great stories. So communication is very important. So if people can should communicate in the innovation. Understand the difference between good and bad conflicts. So you have to manage the conflicts and supplement the innovation core team with the external provocator. So you have to invite some consultants once in a while. So it will give a different way of thinking. Remember to set goals, at least interim goals and final goals. Then think like a startup entrepreneur. You know that. Then ensure the team member both. So we need committed people, not a clerks, not a office assistants, the committed people, not a routine people. Okay, these are the main strategies. Then we can talk about what are the engagement they had to do. They had to work in ideation, they had to work in concept development, they had to look into look and feel, prototyping, testing in internal, closed, and open, then feedback after use. These are the responsibilities. After that, you had to do the analysis, like a the group wise analysis. You have to keep that grouping of information, then continuity of engagement, then challenges you had to manage, rewards, responsibilities. These are the important things you have to manage. What is the final benefit? In one sentence, I can say your benefit is lateral thinking for innovation. That's enough. Because instead of that routine procedure, you have a lateral thinking for innovation. That is the best way. That is the ultimate for way for innovation. And another thing is the benefit of failure. Benefit of failure. Your team should accept failure. More than that, you have to accept failure. You build the culture in such a way that my organization is the right place to fail if you are innovating. There is a condition. You can you if you can't fail if you are not innovating, but if you are innovating, my organization is the right place to fail, because failure is the inevitable thing for success in innovation. You can define failure in different ways, maybe in the prototyping stage, maybe in the ideation stage, the look and feel stage, or in the marketing stage. Okay, failure is a must. Then from that box you have to expand to bigger box using that failure. There is lateral thinking of innovation and failure, benefit of failure. Okay, next week I will come back with next component of ecosystem, that is academia. So you already completed 6 components, that is including internal team. Now the rest is academia and government. So the next week we'll be talking about academy. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, put your questions in the comment box. I will get back to you. At the same time, if you want to talk to me with any of these stages, you can scan this QR code and fix an appointment with me. We can talk about different stages of innovation. Also, I am inviting your comments, and you can share this presentation to any of your colleagues and friends. Also, I invited for our newsletters. It will give them more detailed information about the latest trends in the innovation. Hope my presentation is clear to you and waiting for questions. Thank you so much. Thank you for today. See you next week.